Hey everybody, just got back from Alien Covenant, and what did I think of it? It was alright, till a certain part, and I'll get to that later. And it's going to be heavy spoilers, so I'll let you guys know before you might want to click off the video. The best way to describe this movie is to view it in two different categories. The first of being those who've never seen an alien movie in their life, with the exception of maybe Prometheus, or those who really don't like it that much or have that much of an emotional attachment to it or have any idea of the mythos. And those who have seen it. Kind of like a very similar as to the Power Rangers feel. Though this one's going to be a bit reversed than what I did for Power Rangers. That might be a tip-off. But yes, Alien Covenant. I will say this, it is better than Prometheus, until a certain part. Before that, though, it's actually really good. The characters are likable to a degree, even though you can't remember most of the names, with the exception of Danny and Walter, who is a synthetic, because you always need a synthetic on this. Though I'm surprised he didn't name him something with an E. All of the movies kind of stem one right after another. A, B, C, and the last one being D, you would assume this one would be E. But nope, straight to W. Why? Meh. I'm not Ridley Scott. I got words for him later. But yes. The scenes are shot fairly well, and the environment's really nice, and you actually get the feel of this is an exploration movie. In fact, if this was your first, insight into the Aliens franchise, I would say it's a pretty good one. They discover little bits here and there. They get this big air of mystery in the air. What are these creatures? Where do they come from? How are they this, powerful to the fact that they can take a shotgun to the face 8 times and have a clip of a machine gun round to the face? And our characters, for the most part, actually act smart. They stay away from it. They try to do everything in their power to make sure it doesn't jump on them. And they don't run away from the thing, except for one person, but she's the rare exception into our actually competent breed. And it's actually done well. And the aliens do look good. The CGI's definitely stepped up a bit, and while I do miss the more puppetry of the earlier years, this is actually a nice form, and if you didn't know any better, you would think it was somewhat animatronic. And that's actually kind of funny given what happens with our synth character, who actually has more capability and likeness than the actual humans, as the last one did too. But yes. So before I go into the heavy spoiler/rant of this video, I want to stress, if you've not seen any of the Alien movies before, have that big of an emotional attachment to them, and if you enjoyed Prometheus, you'll enjoy this movie. And you won't really get the somewhat rage aspect that the rest of us are bound to have. Why rage, you might ask? Well, go see the movie for yourself. Or read a forum. Or just wait about 3 seconds, because I don't think I can hold it in anymore. King Arthur made me mad solely for the fact that they didn't understand the mythos. And fair enough, none of them actually have a direct lineage, I would assume, to King Arthur or anything therein, or any of the knights, though I'm sure if you look up your ancient history, you might find one person. This was created by Ridley Scott, the Aliens man. The one who knows the xenomorphs and everything inside and out. And I can say this with 100% certainty. What he has done to this franchise is, in fact, worse than what George Lucas did in the prequels. And I am not saying that without a hint of sarcasm or joke. I literally mean what he did was worse. I'm so mad right now, I'm literally shaking the camera, but I don't care. So, here's where the spoilers begin. A character appears from the last movie, David. When he went off with Elizabeth in this ship, and they were going to go to the home planet, and they were going to take on the aliens. That actually sounded cool. Going back to the source, we're going to find out their planet, their environment, all these cool ideas. What their trees like? Do they have water? What's their society built on? Are they cave dwellers because they kind of like to sneak around in shadows and attack people? it breeds this mystery to you, this awe of where do they come from? How did they get created? Who created them? Did they create themselves? Did they evolve? All these stories that even Prometheus, which I will give the modicum of credit for, actually addressed and to some degree try to explain. That the aliens are born from a symbiotic virus. Well, to me, I thought maybe the virus was the blood of the queen, or maybe it's some plant or some organism that's found on the aliens' planet that has morphed them into these weird creatures, more than the xenomorphs, because as we've seen in 3, they can take on the form of anything, including in that one, a dog. So, all these grand ideas. And they decide to throw it out the window. This is the most BS, retcon, stupid thing I have ever seen in an Aliens movie, including Resurrection, Prometheus, and I'll even say 3, because let's be honest, none of us really like 3 too much. Some do, I'm not a fan. But at the least, they got the point of it. So, David has killed Elizabeth, nuked a planet full of humans, actual humans, and then used them for guinea pigs in his pseudoscience evolutionary bull crud to turn the xenomorphs into the perfect creatures, because he is perfect and humans are flawed, so he needs to be perfect, and only the perfect person can create the perfect organism for the perfect society that he wants to create. And I'll give Michael Fassbender this. He plays off himself very well, because the really good scenes of this movie is between Walter and David, and they're constantly going back and forth. While David is perceived to be more human, he is actually inhumane through his actions, while Walter is more protocol and synthetic, actually has more human to him because he attributes stuff that we would deem with humanity. Care, duty. It's actually really nice, and the desire to learn. David, on the other hand, wants to wipe out humanity with massive genocide via xenomorphs, so he can create the new society. That's right. Think about it for a second. The xenomorphs, the aliens that we've wandered and pondered throughout the entire cosmos, was something we created from little parasites. It's the freaking Metachlorians all over again from Star Wars, but this time a lot worse. Because at least we still had the pseudoscience of the Force for Star Wars and all the stuff that went in with there. This is just taking the best thing about the Aliens franchise and destroying it. Literally destroying it. No more mystery, no more wonder. We now know how they got created, because guess what? Through a bit of fight, which actually was pretty cool, the fight between Walter and David is cool, he decides to basically cut off Walter's face, wear it as his own, which, considering it's Michael Fassbender for both characters, actually is a really good idea, and proceeds to, they don't show it, but you could assume, infect all 2,000 colonists with the xenomorphs. Or, I'm sorry, the eggs that will become the xenomorphs. If you do not understand how dumb of an idea that is, especially if you are a real fan of the Aliens franchise, I don't know what to say. To the critics giving this movie a pass, if you dare say that you love the mythos and this best represents it, I'm calling bull. The movie was so good up until that last part. I wouldn't say it was great. I wouldn't say I enjoyed a lot of it, but it was at least above passable. It was about a C plus, B minus. But you know, they had to do it. They had to give what they think the fans wanted. That we wanted the chest bursters, the true xenomorphs, and all of the fighting and the spaceship infiltration and all the air docks and maneuvering and launching the alien into space. That's what we wanted, right? No, what we wanted was a good movie. And Ridley Scott, you have failed. You have failed in every regard. And to that I say, no. This is the last time I do an Aliens movie. This is the last time I even remotely spend a cent to go see this stuff. This movie has literally killed the Aliens franchise to me. And I will watch the previous movies over and over again, but I cannot watch another one. So, to any true fans out there, don't go see this. I mean, if you are okay with the idea that we created the xenomorphs because some synthetic got a god complex and thought that he should be God and created an entire race of aliens, if you are okay with that, fine, go see the movie. It's completely serviceable. But to the rest of you, don't. Go watch Alien if you want a horror movie. Go watch Aliens if you want an action flick. Or if you want to watch a really bad movie that's enjoyable, go watch Alien Resurrection. But don't go see this. Don't go see this. That's two mythos that have been just kind of wrecked. At least next week is Pirates of the Caribbean, which that mythos is kind of tough to destroy in and of itself because I think they literally make it up for every single movie. And or Baywatch, which is an old show with David Hasselhoff. But at least in this movie we got Zac Efron and The Rock, so it should be at least humorous to watch. Don't know which I'm going to go see, but I might leave it up to you guys. Comment in the comment section below, let me know which one you would like me to review, and I'll do it. Or if not, I'll just do what I always do, flip a coin and go to that one. Or who knows, with school getting out soon, maybe I'll go to both. Anyway, guys, this is Kevin Riley signing off. See you next week, and rest in peace, Aliens franchise. Rest in peace.